Hello, world. It's me, Dennis. I'm here with my new acquaintance, Kate Bass. Hello, Kate.
Hello, Dennis. It's great to be with you.
Well, I'm so glad that you're here on this reasonably spontaneous conversation because this is a time when I'm seeing women rise up around the world. It's like the divine feminine is expressing itself, and we so need you because every place I look where there are problems and challenges in the world, I look at the gender makeup, and it's all these men. All these men in when you're talking about the head of Russia and what's going on in there, men. You look at Hamas and you look at the high that we're having in there. Men, and I figure, well, look, maybe we could get some women involved. Maybe if we did that, we could probably come up with some more solutions. What do you think?
I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
As if we don't have enough to do already, though. But sure, we'll take a little bit more
In
on.
between the birthing and the taking care of all the things, I was, I feel sorry for heterosexual women because they have to shop in the shallow end of the gene pool, that we have. I mean, it takes us a while. We heterosexual men it's taking us a while to be able to come up to be able to have the emotional intelligence because you do disc, right? You do so growing emotional intelligence. When you're talking with your clients and they're working on growing the value of growing emotional intelligence, of being a decent human being.
Starts with self-awareness.
How did you get there? What was your journey in self-awareness?
It's evolving. It's ever evolving.
Tell me
It's
about it. Give me some data points along the way.
Sure. So I think that I think that as a culture, we've all grown a lot in self-awareness, and COVID really forced our hand in that regard. So, I'm all about finding the positive in things, and I think that that was certainly one of them, that people had time to get a little bit more introspective. Being locked up, being locked up and having a toilet paper shortage really made our brains work a
It does
little.
focus you, doesn't it?
Tell you, I'll tell you, a lot more methodical in a lot of the things that we do now. And so now we're trying to figure out. I think we're all still trying to figure out the new normal. The Everyone I'm working with is still on the mission. And how do we keep people engaged, and how do we retain people, and how do we um, keep people energized, and all these terms and buzzwords being thrown about, like the great resignation and quiet quitting, and the I saw another one yesterday, the gloom era. Like, oh boy, it seems all doom and gloom, but I think that, like you're saying, there is a come to Jesus, if you will, in
Yep.
learning, stopping and learning and caring more. There's a new level of that happening now, where there's a refocus on work life balance, and there's a refocus on the things that really matter in life and at work, and how there's not that much of a difference between work and life, personal and practical. And how do
Thank
we
you.
miss that? How did we miss that all along? Maybe it was because the men were in charge.
I think so. I think so because I think of that, Kate. When I go, okay, people go, it's not personal, it's business, and
Um,
I never was able to do that because to me, there, it's all. I'm a human being, an entire entity. It all works together, and if I'm going to be part of this wonderful economic part, that's personal. I'm bringing myself, those non-fungible hours, that time that I have, that's my personal and what I bring as the best of it.
you're darn right. Yep.
So what are you hearing from your clients? Because I mean, I love what you said about earlier when you're talking about the is that whatever I focus upon grows. The more I focus upon the negative, what's not there, what I'm not getting, what I'm not, that it's going to grow in my consciousness out of proportion to what it possibly is by some objective standards. I mean, because if you, I think of my objective standards is that, I mean, I have hot and cold running water. I have I have I have a machine that washes clothes, one that dries. I have air that is conditioned.
Hmm.
I have my own. I mean, kings did not live like this. And I'm going to complain about, oh my God, I have a 2.5 day Amazon. What? I really, Dennis?
I know. Boy, do I know. I think that, sometimes I'll start out a training asking people what their product is. And everybody's like, duh, why are you here, Kate, if you don't know what our product is? And I'm like, no, what's your product? It's people. It's people.
Exactly. I was thinking about that with stakeholder capitalism. Aren't your workers the stakes? I mean, isn't that what you get? This is your intellectual capital. This is your wonderful, this is your creativity. These are all your ideas and everything are right there. I mean, human resources means something.
Yes. Something way more than we've been boxing it into.
Yeah. So
Oh,
tell me a little bit about your what's on the minds of when you're talking with your clients and talking to senior management and you're talking and doing that, what are kind of general themes are you getting that you're having to work with as you roll up your sleeves?
Um, I think one of the probably the biggest thing that I'm hearing is a lack of transparency. Communication is where a lot of the crumble, yeah, where everything crumbles. And I think we're just like everything else that we're working towards with all of these new realizations. We're realizing that keeping everything tight-lipped, buttoned up, and private is not benefiting anyone. And so when we're able to share just what we know or just share, I don't know, and I'm looking to find out, I'm digging, here's what I'm trying to do, here's how I'm helping, here's how I'm working, this is what I'm doing. And even recently this week, I joked a couple times with some different groups. People have this illusion of leadership being off in this tall tower, like inaccessible, like a Rapunzel kind of deal. And it shouldn't be like that. That's not the case at all. There needs to be this open communication, this dialogue, this safe feeling. That's a title that someone's worked hard to achieve. Yes, acknowledge that. Fantastic. You too could be there. As a leader, I should be helping you all to get there. We're not on these different levels and this hierarchy of it's,
Sure.
you know,
That's that I love that because if we're truly all in this together because we're all in an organization, we're
yeah,
all part of this on what we're mission driven, then it would seem to me that the best thing I could do was to give you as much information as possible that I have to let you know. Sure, certainly there may be need for some confidentiality at some
yes,
of the stakeholder shareholder level that they're doing. I understand that, but I'm talking about your basic mission,
yes.
knowing that okay, we're all in this together. Give us the ideas, get the best, because if we can push those decisions down to the lowest possible way and get and empower them, oh my
Power.
goodness.
Yes. That's it exactly. That's it exactly. And even letting them know, I say this too, sometimes it works in reverse and people make up, left to their own devices, they make up their own narrative and then the gossip and the things that get people into trouble and leadership gets all upset about, well, you're making up all this. Had you told everyone in the first place, there wouldn't be any place to make up their own story. So even things like here's what I have going on today. And we all get into this silo, this tunnel vision of I've got my own thing and I'm so busy, me. But realizing that our leader has a stack on their desk and if a leader even just says, this is what I'm working on, very transparently. Just and that can be the transparent conversation. I have this, and this happening that's benefiting you, helping this department, helping him, helping her. And then you see bigger picture, how you play into that. That's where all the buy-in happens. That's where all the magic happens.
Yeah. And I mean, people are, they want, I believe, when I was growing up, a couple of generations before you, they had a thing called Theory X and Theory Y. And Theory X was that people are lazy, or they're born lazy. That's what they are. That all you have to do, you have to constantly watch them, because the minute you turn your back, they're just not going to do it. That was Theory X. And Theory Y is that people want to have purpose, that they are naturally have purpose, and that they are ready to inspire and to communicate and to collaborate. So with these two theories that continue to go on. I mean, you saw this during COVID, when people would go, well, I don't want to, if you put people remote, they're not gonna do anything. And it didn't work that way.
No.
So I believe people are naturally, they want to contribute. They
Yes.
want to, and leadership can give them that opportunity. Or do you experience that?
Oh, 100%. 100%. If you can get past that proximity bias of, if I can't see them, I don't know what they're doing, and they're not contributing, and because they're not here, I'm not giving them opportunities that for all the, well, then things are happening in the reverse, and I'm hearing this too. So we have the proximity bias, and these people are being misjudged by what they're doing, and getting so much more done from home, frankly, while those who are in the office are getting dumped on, and they're burnt out. So we've got, yeah,
Yep.
we're
So we're
still
gonna we're so
right.
we're figuring it out. So that's where we're going. So where are you in your career? Where you see where you've gone? Because you began in television?
I
Was
did.
that your this
Correct.
was art? Did you do like I did, go the news, go in the local news to do that part, do the reporter, man in the street, that kind of thing too?
I did. I was an
Oh,
anchor
it's
and
great training, isn't it? Isn't
it
it
was great
wonderful?
training. It's brought me to where I am now, and I'm grateful. It was a very cutthroat business, um, but it's given me skills now that help me to do what I'm doing, and I'm so thankful. Everything is for a purpose,
It
so
does.
I do see the purpose.
And that's, I've noticed that about it, because I feel like that there is I feel in my life, I look back and I see that there is a thread, that there are themes that are going on. Now I can step off the theme and
Sure.
feel like I'm completely lost in this, but there is a flow. If I'm there at the flow, then things serendipitously, like meeting you, like getting a chance to be at those things those things happen, and it isn't. And looking back on them, I can go, boy, that was perfectly aligned for what I needed to hear at that time, but that I couldn't do it. But there is something going on in the clockworks of the universe. You experience that too?
I do. I do. I call it faith. But yes, I'm
Yes.
direct alignment with trying to keep on the path that, I, like you're saying, follow the thread.
Follow the thread, and how we're doing it with each one of us, as we're doing this. So where are you going in your career? What are the things that you're looking at? What are your aspirationally looking at, of the things that you're interested in,
Hmm.
curious about?
Sure. Like next steps, bigger than where I am now. I am
But
I'm
that where, yeah, and where you're curious about, where would be something to go, that might be interesting to delve into for Kate.
Yeah. I definitely have thought a bit more about coaching and getting in with, right now it's all group training, and getting more into the nitty gritty, and learning very specifically about someone and how they tick, and going through that process with them. I also see a bigger stage. I reaching a bigger group eventually, and just that I feed off of that energy. That's very exhilarating for me to see smiles and passion and eyes light up and people lean forward. It's why even in a virtual setting, and I've been working in a virtual setting for the past 10 years, why that's so important for me, even as in an instructor or facilitator seat, easy for
Sure.
me to say, uh, to see someone's camera on. When someone doesn't turn their camera on and I can't see that light bulb moment, or that, oh, it's, oh, I need that. I need that. It helps so much.
Oh, it's just it's a wonderful experience. So what are some of the specific areas that you like training in? What are if you were going to give me some essences of a Kate Bay's training, what would be some of the things that I would be able to experience, please?
Well, you in particular, maybe not going with the theme that we mentioned at the beginning of our conversation. I do really uh, love women in leadership.
Yes,
So there's a passion there. Yes, yes,
please.
but we need the men as allies. So
Oh,
there's a
we
time,
have to. Oh, no,
right?
this is an
So
all hands on deck. This
is
isn't an
an
either or. This is an and gate.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yep.
Marry the two together and get the job done. Yes.
Exactly. Because
Love each other.
we each bring our own
Yes, sir.
perspectives
Yeah.
to the process. I mean, that's one of the things about confirmation bias. This is where you know, I when I think of it about what the value of diversity and the metaphor I use is that here we have a field and I take the same crop and I plant the same crop over and over. What happens to that soil?
Yes. Depleted.
But if I put a rich, diverse environment in there, the
Mhm.
soil gets regenerated, and so I see that as really because being a beige male of my age of 75, I know I have seen the confirmation bias that I've had as I've continued to go on during this time that I could not. That as I'm having much greater diversity in my work experiences and my personal experiences, I'm exposed to things that
Yes.
I didn't even know were there.
Right. Right. Yes. Yep. That's how it
Yep.
all happens. That's how it all starts. First of all, 75 I'd have never guessed. So
I know, but
kudos to
still,
you.
I get to be here as long as I am. Yes, yes. Continue.
And your analogy there resonated as a gardener, as an avid gardener myself. I really, yes, that's I love that. And I love the idea of, so it makes me think of bridging and bonding and exposing, purposefully exposing yourself to people who aren't of your whatever. It's outside of your safe space, learning and growing and meeting new people. And networking is such, I mean, even how we met, networking is such a big thing for me, especially being locked in my little tower here and working from home virtually for the past 10 years. Being able to open the gates and go, oh, well, yes, I don't know Dennis, I don't know so and so. I sure, let's chat, and just being a yes to whatever that looks like, and you follow the thread. It always ends up somewhere. It always ends up fruitful.
Yeah, yeah. And that's and I love the fruit that I get from that. But because if I don't do that, I literally don't have the fruit. I end up in and I think, well, what's going on? Because my I love what you said earlier, what you were talking about how we make stuff up.
Yes.
When I do not have the story, like I'll send off an email and then I'll go, oh, they didn't like that email. Oh, I have
Right.
no idea where that, but I made up a whole story because they didn't respond to me right away. And I have this well, that happens over and over again in the office environment. And exactly where that transparency can change that instead of the opacity. I mean, I just love that you're focusing on your clients doing that.
Yes. And I tell them, like, I see this list of words kind of all fitting and flowing together: transparency, trust, curiosity, just that, you know, yes. Yeah. We need those things.
Transparency, trust, curiosity. What lovely things. Knowing that you have those things in a business environment.
Right.
Here are those three things.
Yeah.
I have transparency. There is people are allowed to be curious
Yes.
and they trust one another.
Yep. And even in the trust there, I think the importance of a culture where you feel safe to fail. If we don't fail, we're not innovating, we're not learning, we're not growing. I have 4 sons. So it's very important, even in my home, that I tell them that's no big deal. Let's figure it out. First attempt in learning. Give it a try. Try something else. What do you need? Ask for help. We'll find something different.
Okay. So much testosterone, so little time. So
Yeah.
now, how is it to be a mother of four sons? You got, tell me, please, please, please share on that. Oh, you buried the lead. Keep
I
going.
buried
Talk.
the lead. Wait, there's more. 17 chickens to go along with the big. I had to balance with females, hens. So, yes, four boys. They're 12, 10, 8, and 6. So, yes, it's I'm always every second is a role model moment. I have to stay on top, not just for my business, but for my household, for my family, to teach my kids how to be better humans, how to stay curious and to build trust with friends, with family, all these things. Just like we said, there is no division of I'm Kate at home and I'm not Kate at work. I'm a Kate 2.0 at work. That's not at all how I operate. This is Kate. This is Kate how I talk to my kids. This is Kate how I talk to clients. This is Kate. There is no, I'm not changing and morphing, and I'm not a chameleon. This is it, like it or not.
Oh, that's wonderful. I mean, so anyway, how you see when you look out at how are the kids dealing with all the social media, all of the idea of saying, what should a man be? What should but what a fascinating, and I say fascinating because I can't imagine what you're going to, but talk about your thought process of this in 2023 and dealing with these emerging young male beings who are growing.
Curiosity. We ask a lot of questions. We have a lot of conversations. We break down concepts. We just keep working our way through, how we look at things and how it could be looked at a different way. How, no, I'm not 100% right. I'm not an expert in anything, but
Hmm.
I'm just doing my best. And so for them and by them, I share what I can and do the best that I can. But I think it's important that they transparently know, no, I don't know.
How wonderful. But what a lovely, because when I was growing up, I told you, you're in Pittsburgh, and I had spent my first grade in Pittsburgh, and it wasn't long before I realized that adults were keeping secrets from one another, that they were having this whole Mad Men era where everybody, we're having cocktails at 5 and let the children go and away. I mean, it was very, very much like that because I was in the upper middle class growing up when I was. And I realized that adults really don't know. Not only do they not know what they're doing, but they're lying to each other. And so I dismissed adults. So to have that opportunity to be able to know, hey, we're all making it up as we go along. I've been on the planet a little longer than you, so I probably have more experience in that sense. But let's work this out together.
Yep.
What an enlightened, wonderful way to be able to deal with young men
It's
and
so
women
important.
and but children and humans.
They teach me things daily, so it's an interesting give and take of, Mom, did you know? No, I did not know that. And I love that you do know that and that you just taught me something. I think that's pretty cool.
Oh, Kate, thank you so much for today. I'm going to cut this off because you have a hard stop and I have some other things that we're doing and we're going to get. But please, let's not make this the only time we get a chance to have some conversations, to be able to see how I can support you and we can support one another as we're going along this way, because my goodness, we need each other. We need this kind of opportunity to be able to say, let's reach beyond our grasp.
Right.
Let's see out there, and I love the idea of being able to make mistakes and being able to figure it out and say, okay, let's pick it up and try it again and see what we can do, because that's the only place I'm going to be able to heal and grow.
Yes. Yep. Dennis,
Thank
what a
you,
pleasure.
Kate Bays. We will talk again, and thank you everybody for joining us. And you see what a delight I had on getting a chance to know this human being.
Thank you.
Well, hey, things are working out pretty good for Dennis. All right. Bye, Kate.
Bye. Thank you.
Imagine if you were able to watch your great-grandparents tell stories from their lives. What made them laugh? What moved them? How they responded to adversity and triumph? And what impacted their existence? That would be a treasure. Now you can offer that gift to your loved ones. Hello, I'm Dennis Tarden. For more than 45 years, I've been a professional interviewer documenting the lives and times of hundreds of people. I will guide you or your family member through the important stories of your lives using my unique interviewing skills. I'm now offering my legacy interviews worldwide via Zoom from the comfort of you or your loved one's own home. All you need is a webcam, and I will do the rest. Contact me today to schedule your legacy interview.